We see Gilsan demanding Raid Commander Skoven for the commander's authority, right? This annoyed Skoven, as Gilsan was seen as an immature idiot with childish behavior, and now he was demanding the commander's authority. Skoven walked away, denying Gilsan his demand, shocking Gilsan himself. Skoven was annoyed as he told Gilsan if he thought this was some kind of game. Even if he was the young master, he couldn't just give up the authority the Lord had given him so easily. This didn't go as Gilsan had expected, as Gilsan thought Skovan would behave the same way he did back when he was acting immature. An orc didn't give both of them time. Skovan swiftly shielded Gilsan, warning him to fall back as he would take things from there. Is this man retarded, or is he just a brave idiot? Gilsan looked at Skovan in annoyance. Guess I have no choice. Gilsan's demeanor changed as he threw his sword towards the orc. This sudden move by Gilsan made Skovan annoyed. Is it that you're trying to get yourself killed? That's a sword you swing, not throw. What's next? Use an arrow as a sword? But Skovan realized something wasn't right as he turned to see what happened to the orc that was just charging at them a moment ago. He was shocked as he saw the orc standing still, with the sword embedded in its eye. Its eyes rolled back as it took its last breath. The orc collapsed down dead. Skovan couldn't believe his own eyes, as he didn't understand how Gilsan knew the orc's weak spot. Skovan, that's your name, right? Do you know what the most important thing in battle is? There's no hope of winning a battle when the troops are filled with fear. And to change that, we need to regain momentum. As soon as Gilsan finished his words, he took off charging into battle, taking his sword from the orc's head, his figure leaving tracks of inertia as he charged into the orcs. Striking a finishing blow to one of the orcs, instantly killing it. This scene was something both the soldiers and Raid Commander Skovan couldn't believe if told. Now, you bloody brute creatures, Gilsan said, retreating his blade. Come at me, he shouted. I'll kill all of you. At that moment, Gilsan wasn't like the immature young master, but like a warlord, his nimble figure moving like the wind, dealing killing blows in an instant. Even Raid Commander Skovan couldn't believe what he was seeing, wondering if he was dreaming. Even I, as a mana user, it's hard for me to do anything. So, how is that skinny young master doing all this? By the look I can tell he is already tired. However, he is using the smallest movements to dodge attacks, and using his swordsmanship to strike their weak spots, like a manaless swordmaster. Or perhaps it's even something greater. Gilsan riled up and taunted the orcs. Is this all you got? I'm still getting warmed up, you brute monsters. You are not living up to your reputation as a warrior species. He did this, drawing the orcs' attention to himself, away from the soldiers. The soldiers noticed this and, worried for Gilsan, shouted for the commander to give a command. Skovan was still in shock, processing what was before him, wondering what Gilsan was thinking. As Skovan began to analyze the situation, he realized that Gilsan drawing the orcs' attention to himself was a good move, but he didn't understand why Gilsan was running, especially in the direction of the edge of the cliff. As a seasoned veteran, it didn't take long for Skovan to realize what was happening. Worried and tense, he didn't want to believe that what he was thinking was truly what Gilsan intended to do, and with no delay, Skovan told the troops to quickly raise their shields. We follow the first son of the Perdium, Gilsan, Skovan shouted. Gilsan was being pursued by the orcs. He was sure that Skovan would have already realized his plan, as he was a skilled commander. Gilsan would have preferred slaying the orcs himself, but he couldn't, as his stamina wouldn't be able to handle his decades of combat experiments from his past life. Even then, he knew this plan would be enough to handle the orcs. Seeing this, the orcs' attention was drawn to the troops, but the troops had already formed a shield wall, using their spears through the gaps to poke and push the orcs off the cliff. Seeing this, Gilsan was pleased, as Raid Commander Skovan was right on cue as he leaned off the cliff, leaving the rest to Raid Commander Skovan. Skovan knew it was his cue as he led the troops to push the orcs, rallying them up and taking Gilsan's words on leading with momentum. As the troops launched themselves like barbarians, their blood boiled with morale and excitement as the orcs were pushed off the cliff, sending their bodies plummeting down, crushing to their deaths. The soldiers, catching their breaths, couldn't believe they had won and killed the orcs. Skovan wasn't concerned by that as he rushed to the edge of the cliff, calling out for Gilsan. Luckily, Gilsan had used his sword as leverage, plunging it into the wall of the cliff and hanging there so as not to fall to his death. He gave an arrogant smirk to Scoven, who was relieved to see Gilsan was okay, and with a proud smirk, reached out his hand for Gilsan. But even so, Gilsan's body had reached its limit and he was exhausted, telling Scoven he couldn't hold on as he fell off the cliff. This scene made the hearts of the soldiers and Scoven drop. "Young master!" Their voices were heard as they yelled.
Many hours later.
"Appa!" A young girl's voice was heard calling out. "Elena!" Gilsan called out to the voice as memories of his past life surfaced. He recalled a sad Elena, asking if Mother was gone, another fragment of Elena cheerfully thanking him, and another memory fragment of Elena with hate towards him, blaming and cursing Gilsan, asking him what his problem was. Turning to leave, she called him the worst elder brother. As Gilsan saw this memory, he began to wonder if these were his memories of Elena. Out of the blue, a hand reached out, calling, "Appa, let's go together." It was a young and timid Elena. This jolted Gilsan awake as he realized he was not at the camp. He realized he survived and they managed to save him. He wondered if it was a dream. Then all the pain and muscle aches came flowing through his body. "My entire body hurts. It must be the consequences of pushing my body to the limit." The door opened. "Young master?" A voice called for Gilsan. "You are awake." Gilsan was surprised to see who it was as he recognized her as Belinda. "Do you know how worried I was? Didn't I tell you? You should let the soldiers handle the orcs." Gilsan swiftly hugged Belinda, catching her by surprise, making her wonder what Gilsan was doing, which made her think if he had done anything wrong. "No, it's nothing like that. I'm just glad to see you, Belinda." Belinda was Gilsan's personal tutor since he was little. She was the only one who continued to stay by his side despite his idiotic behavior. But after the Perdium family fell to ruins and she went missing, Gilsan was no longer able to see her again. Gilsan never thought he would be able to see her again. "What are you so happy about when we see each other every day?" Belinda told Gilsan. Gilsan inwardly felt he needed to tell Belinda the truth. As he told Belinda to listen carefully, he warned her that a disaster would soon befall Perdium. This caught Belinda by surprise. "The truth," Gilsan became serious, "is I died and came back to life." Belinda dismissed Gilsan's words as a child's inner delusion, adding that she understood the orcs tried harming his little body. Gilsan was annoyed, as that's not what he meant. Belinda made Gilsan lie in bed, then turned and began scolding Gilsan like a mother scolding her unruly child. Gilsan knew she didn't believe him and accepted his fate. As Belinda told him what he was thinking, asking if he was hurt and still wanted to go to the festival, the reminder of the festival seemed to remind Gilsan of a bad memory. "Have you forgotten about it? Lady Elena has been waiting for the day to go with you. It will be a great chance for the two of you to become close to each other again." This made Gilsan recall there was a festival that happened during this time every year, recalling how in his past life he used to avoid such festivals due to his traumatic experiences. "How long till the festival, Belinda?" Gilsan asked. Let's see. Since it's next week, you have about a week left." Gilsan knew he had a week before the day that changed his life in his past life reached again. The door opened as a young girl's voice was heard. "Appa, are you inside?" Gilsan turned towards the door as the memory of his past life haunted him, as he remembered a young Elena with trembling tears, begging him to go with her to the festival. And he knew that on that day, Elena would meet her end and die.